Welcome everybody to another episode of Chopping It Up with the Cleavers. My name is Emmanuel Cleaver III.
Emmanuel Cleaver IV.
And I'm Emil Cleaver.
So we're going to jump right into it. Pope Leo XIV. We have a new Pope. 1.4 billion Catholics around the world. And the world celebrated the fact that we do have a new Pope, head of the Catholic Church, who has some Negro in him as well.
Yes, Negro on him.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Wow, I don't
Yeah, his great grandfather.
His
His grandfather was Haitian.
He doesn't
I
look
know
like
he's from Chicago.
Yeah, he's born in Chicago, but he has Negro roots in him.
I didn't know that.
So, what are you all's thoughts?
I'm glad the Catholics got their little Pope. I have a problem with all this man worship. You know, the Pope is supposed to be God's representative on earth, according to the Catholics. I disagree with that on earth. Ain't no man on this earth God's one representative. That's just my opinion.
If 1.4 billion people say he is,
No,
then
it was a bunch of bishops that voted. The 1.4 billion people didn't get to vote on him.
right, they didn't get to vote on him. But if they believe that he is God's mouthpiece,
and that's
then
the
he
problem.
is.
And that's the problem with the world, that people worship humans, just like they worship Donald Trump. There's no difference. That's the one thing. I mean, and the Pope might be a good person. I don't know, but I just have a problem with saying this is God's representative. That's my first issue. Any other thoughts?
I've never really cared too much about the Pope. I'm gonna be honest. It's sad. I don't really like the thought of the job. You're in it till you pass away. I'm sure at some point in the Pope's life they might get tired of being this image of.
Nobody's retired. They all die. They don't. Nobody leaves the Pope.
Yeah, Benedict stepped down. He retired.
Pope Benedict.
Yeah, don't you remember that? That's how Francis became Pope. Pope Benedict said, "Our health is failing,"
he recently retired,
and he stepped down.
He recently died.
Yeah, he died, but he stepped down before he passed.
Most people aren't going to give up power like that.
Yeah, not a lot. But you look at the Supreme Court. Look at judges. They're appointed for lifetime here in the United States. But here's why it matters. There's 1.4 billion people who listen and call the Pope the head of God's church. And in addition to that, there are 61 million Catholics in the United States. So whether we respect that office or not, or respect the man, he has a lot of influence in the
I didn't
world.
say he didn't. But my big problem, the biggest problem with all this Pope stuff, when is the Pope going to address the child pedophilia that has been going on in the Catholic? Did he stop it? Because
You can't.
Catholic priests, they rape boys, and then they get transferred to another a parish where they get to rape more boys. This has been going on for decades in the Catholic Church, and until one of these popes, more than just addresses it, tries to put a stop to it, it's hard for me to respect that.
So do you know that popes have done? Are you saying that popes haven't done anything to stop it?
I don't know that they have done anything to try to stop it. I know that they haven't. It's a culture. It's a culture in the Catholic
Which means it's going to take time to change the culture, because you can't change culture overnight.
Okay. In the meantime, little boys got to suffer.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's what what they're doing is correct.
No, it's the most evil thing that they could do. And then on top of that, they want to say they're God's representative.
People should be going to jail. People should be going to jail then if this is what's going on in the Catholic Church. It's more than
somehow
the culture trying to change it. They should be.
Have they gone? You see,
there are a few that have gotten in trouble with the law, but most of the time they're paying. They're paying for it. That's why all these Catholic schools have closed. What Catholic school we went to.
Our Lady of Lourdes.
Yeah, the diocese has to pay out money. They can no longer afford.
So did that happen at Our Lady of Lourdes?
It happened in the diocese.
It did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm not surprised. We went to a Catholic school most of our lives, first through 8th grade, and then 11th and 12th grade we went to Catholic school. So we have some, and then I went to Avila, which is a Catholic college for a semester. So we do have experience dealing with Catholicism, a scary religion.
Why is that scarier than any other religion?
Well, because in the Catholicism, they really preach that hell, that you're going to hell, and they have all those pictures of burning and the devil, and
Which is based on Dante's Inferno that comes from the Middle Ages. Anyway, that's how most people, whether black, white, Protestant, Catholic, most people's understanding of hell comes from a poem written by Dante called Dante's Inferno that came from the Dark Ages. And people don't even realize that's their comprehension or that's their understanding of hell. But we're going to wrap up the Pope.
well, hold on, before you go, tell the people what the Pope actually does.
Well, the Pope is head of the church, and the Pope sets the agenda, really sets the vision for the Roman Catholic Church, the direction they're going to go in. And we see with Pope Francis, he was leading the Catholic Church to become more inclusive, including groups that had not been included. Now, depending on who became Pope would determine where or how they led the church. But that's really their job. They are the head of the church. They are discerning God's vision for the future of the church.
Catholicism, man, it's something else, man. I mean, they correct me if I'm wrong, but Catholicism started the modern day Christianity, right? Comes from Catholicism.
No. Well, Protestants are a result coming out of the Catholic Church. Protestants, Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians protested the Catholic Church. But I would say the understanding of church that we have today, whether you're Protestant or Catholic, it all goes back to the Council of Nicaea that was called by Emperor Constantine, I think back in sometimes 325, somewhere between 325 and 328. I mean, that's really the foundation of what the church is today, which is to say that for hundreds of years, Christianity spread peacefully in North Africa, down to Nubia and Ethiopia, in the Mediterranean, of course in Asia. And they were hiding from the Roman Catholic Church, being persecuted, not by the Roman Catholic Church, but by the Roman Empire. And then all of a sudden, the Roman Empire becomes the head of the very thing
That's
that
what That's what I was going to bring up. Like the people that actually killed Jesus are the ones who are in charge of.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholic Church. They're not. I mean, they're mingled together, but they're not the same thing.
But they are mingled together.
They were Jewish at the time, though.
Jesus was Jewish, yeah.
Yeah.
But as it spread and they broke off from what's called Judaism today, there were Gentile Christians and Jewish Christians. But after a while, it just became Christianity.
I wanted to ask, I know you guys go to Catholic school, but like on a day-to-day, how often do you see or be around Catholics on a day-to-day?
Well, you probably around them, you just don't know they're Catholics.
Every day. I mean, yeah, we were the few Protestants. Most of the people who went there were Catholic. The teachers were Catholic. Most of the students were Catholic. Like 98% of the students were Catholic.
And all the black kids were not Catholic, it seems like.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know too many people that say they are Catholics.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, we have Beverly and Grandy was a Catholic.
I didn't know.
I thought she was a Catholic.
She's not religious.
Grandy was a Catholic.
Yeah, get Granby.
My grandfather was a Catholic.
And my grandmother grew up Catholic because she came from, her father came from, Latin America. But anyway, that's the thoughts on the Pope. Let us know what you think about the Pope. Do you think that he's worshipped? Do you think he should be respected?
He should be respected. I'm not saying that. I mean, if he's a good person, but the worship, I'm not with that.